What makes a mountain truly deadly? Is it the sheer height, the biting cold, or the thin, unforgiving air? All these things play a part, of course. They test your body and your spirit to the absolute limit, but some mountains possess a danger that goes beyond just the physical challenge. They have a reputation, a history written in tragedy and survival. In the heart of the Himalayas, there is one peak that stands above all others, not in height, but in its lethal power. This mountain is a true killer, a place where the odds are stacked against you from the very first step. It is a giant that demands respect and commands fear in equal measure. This titan is Annapurna 1. It doesn't have the household name of Mount Everest, but for those in the climbing community, its name is spoken with a unique kind of reverence and caution. Standing at 8,091 meters, it is the 10th highest mountain in the world, a formidable giant of rock and ice. But its height is deceptive. Annapurna is renowned as the most dangerous of all the world's 8,000-meter peaks. It has a fatality rate that is truly staggering, a chilling statistic that serves as a constant reminder of the immense risks involved. This is not a mountain for the faint-hearted or the unprepared. It is a place where every decision can be the difference between life and death. The name Annapurna itself comes from Sanskrit and translates to goddess of the harvests, or the provider. It's an almost cruelly ironic name for a mountain that has taken so many lives. The local people have long revered it as a sacred place, a home for the gods. For them, it is a powerful spiritual entity, a source of life-giving water for the valleys below, but also a place of immense and unpredictable power. This duality is something every climber feels. You are drawn to its beauty, to the incredible challenge it represents, but you are also acutely aware that the mountain is in control. It provides the ultimate test, but it can also take everything away in an instant. My own experiences in the wild have taught me that nature is the ultimate arbiter. It doesn't care about your goals, your training, or your courage. Annapurna embodies this truth more than any other place I can think of. It is a raw, untamed force of nature. The mountain's geography, its weather systems, and its very structure seem designed to challenge human ambition. To even consider an attempt on its summit is to accept a level of risk that is almost incomprehensible to most people. It is a true battle of human resilience against the overwhelming power of the natural world, a confrontation where survival is the only victory that truly matters. The statistics surrounding Annapurna are grim and paint a very clear picture of the dangers. For every 3 climbers who successfully reach the summit, 1 dies on the mountain. Think about that for a moment. A fatality rate of over 30% is unheard of in the world of high-altitude mountaineering. It means that your chances of survival are significantly lower here than on any other major peak. This isn't just a risk, it's a game of Russian roulette played on a vertical ice field. These numbers are not just abstract figures. They represent real people, experienced climbers, who were drawn to the challenge and paid the ultimate price. It's a sobering reality that hangs over every expedition. This deadly reputation is earned through a combination of factors, but the primary culprit is the mountain's extreme susceptibility to avalanches. The south face, in particular, is a notoriously dangerous route. It is a gigantic, steep wall of ice and rock, constantly shedding its frozen skin. Huge seracs, massive blocks of glacial ice, cling precariously to the slopes, ready to collapse without any warning. Climbers must navigate these treacherous fields of debris, always listening for the terrifying roar that signals an impending snowslide. The danger is constant and unpredictable, coming from above at any moment, day or night, turning the climb into a desperate dash between terrifyingly exposed sections. Unlike some other high peaks where the dangers are concentrated in specific sections like the Khumbu Icefall on Everest, the threat on Annapurna is relentless. The objective danger, meaning the risks that are outside of a climber's control, is exceptionally high. You can be the most skilled, experienced, and well-prepared mountaineer in the world, but none of that matters when 1,000,000 tons of ice and snow decide to let go from a kilometer above you. This constant, ambient threat wears you down mentally as much as it does physically. You are never truly safe, and the psychological strain of living under that constant threat is immense. The mountain's moods are fickle and change with terrifying speed. A clear, calm morning can transform into a raging blizzard in a matter of hours, trapping climbers high on the slopes. The weather systems that swirl around the Annapurna Massif are notoriously difficult to predict. This combination of unpredictable avalanches and volatile weather creates a perfect storm of danger. It leaves very small windows of opportunity for a summit attempt, forcing teams to move quickly and take risks they might otherwise avoid. Every moment spent on the upper slopes is a moment spent in the crosshairs of the mountain, a gamble against time and nature itself. The journey to Annapurna is an expedition in itself, long before you even touch the mountain proper. It begins not with a climb, but with a long and arduous trek deep into the heart of the Nepalese Himalayas. For many, this trek starts from the bustling lakeside city of Pokhara. From there, you slowly leave civilization behind, winding your way through lush terraced fields and dense rhododendron forests. The air grows thinner, and the sounds of the modern world are replaced by the rush of glacial rivers and the chime of yak bells. This journey is a crucial period of acclimatization, allowing your body to slowly adjust to the decreasing oxygen levels. As you trek higher, the landscape transforms dramatically. The green, fertile valleys give way to a more rugged alpine environment. You pass through small, isolated villages, inhabited by resilient communities who have lived in the shadow of these giants for centuries. Their way of life is a testament to human endurance. There is a profound sense of isolation that begins to set in. You are days away from the nearest road, reliant on your own 2 feet and the supplies you carry. This remoteness strips away the noise of everyday life, forcing you to focus on the basics: walking, eating, and breathing. It's a mental as much as a physical preparation for the challenge ahead. The final approach to Annapurna Base Camp is breathtaking. You enter a vast natural amphitheater, a sanctuary of rock and ice, surrounded by a ring of colossal peaks. Annapurna 1 towers above you, its sheer scale almost impossible to comprehend. You are standing at over 4,100 meters, a tiny figure in a landscape of giants. The sense of awe is mixed with a palpable feeling of intimidation. This is where the real work begins, but it's also a place of profound beauty and silence. The world feels raw and elemental here, and you are acutely aware of your own vulnerability in the face of such immense natural power. Setting up base camp is a critical phase. This small city of tents will be your home, your hospital, and your command center for the weeks or even months to come. It's a place to rest, plan, and wait for the right weather window. But even here, you are not entirely safe. The base camp itself is situated in a valley prone to avalanches from the surrounding peaks. The roar of falling ice and snow becomes a familiar, unsettling soundtrack to daily life. The isolation is complete. You are in the belly of the beast. From here, there is only one way to go: up into the death zone. Once you leave the relative safety of base camp, you are entering a world of extreme danger. The first major challenge is the altitude. As you climb higher, the amount of oxygen in the air plummets. Above 8,000 meters, in what is known as the death zone, the human body can no longer acclimatize. It is slowly dying. Every movement becomes a monumental effort. Your body is starved of oxygen, leading to extreme fatigue, impaired judgment, and a host of life-threatening conditions like high-altitude cerebral edema and high-altitude pulmonary edema. Your mind plays tricks on you and simple tasks become incredibly complex. Survival depends on moving efficiently and getting back down as quickly as possible. The weather on Annapurna is another relentless adversary. The mountain's position in the Himalayas makes it one of the first to be hit by the massive weather system sweeping in from the Bay of Bengal. Storms can appear with terrifying speed, bringing hurricane-force winds and heavy snowfall that can bury tents and obliterate tracks. Temperatures on the upper slopes can drop to minus 40 degrees Celsius or lower, and that's before you even factor in the wind chill. Frostbite is a constant and serious threat, capable of claiming fingers, toes, and noses in minutes. Climbers are forced to wait for tiny, uncertain windows of good weather, knowing that a wrong forecast could be a fatal mistake. As we've discussed, the most notorious danger on Annapurna is the ever-present risk of avalanches. The mountain's faces are incredibly steep and loaded with unstable snow and ice. The south face, a near vertical wall of over 3,000 meters, is a death trap. Climbing it requires moving beneath enormous overhanging seracs, cliffs of ice the size of buildings that can collapse without warning. There is often no safe route, forcing climbers to make a terrifying dash across avalanche-prone slopes. The sound of an avalanche is something you never forget, a low rumble that grows into a deafening roar, a force of nature that sweeps away everything in its path. It is the mountain's primary weapon. Finally, the climb itself is technically demanding. It is not a trek, it is a vertical ascent on steep ice and rock. Climbers must be highly skilled in using ice axes, crampons, and ropes to navigate treacherous terrain. They face vertical ice walls, deep crevasses hidden by snow bridges, and sharp, exposed ridges where a single misstep would mean a fall of thousands of meters. Combining these technical difficulties with the debilitating effects of extreme altitude, bone-chilling cold, and the constant psychological pressure of avalanche danger makes a climb on Annapurna one of the most complex and dangerous undertakings in all of sport. It pushes human beings to their absolute physical and mental limits. The story of the first successful ascent of Annapurna is one of the great epics of mountaineering history. It is a tale of incredible bravery, but also one of immense suffering. In 1950, a French expedition led by the charismatic Maurice Herzog set its sights on becoming the first to conquer an 8,000-meter peak. Annapurna was their target. This was a pioneering effort in every sense. They had inaccurate maps, basic equipment by today's standards, and very little knowledge of the mountain they were about to face. Their initial attempts to find a viable route were fraught with difficulty, as they struggled to even locate the base of the mountain after weeks of reconnaissance and failed attempts on a neighboring peak. Herzog and his strongest partner, Louis Lachenal, made a bold push for the summit of Annapurna. In a final, desperate effort, they reached the top on the 3rd of June, 1950. It was a monumental achievement, the first time humans had stood on the summit of a mountain over 8,000 meters high. Herzog, overwhelmed by the moment, took off his gloves to take photographs, a decision that would have devastating consequences. Their triumph on the summit was short-lived, as the true battle for survival was only just beginning. The descent was a horrifying ordeal. The weather turned, and both men, exhausted and suffering from the altitude, became lost in a whiteout. Herzog, having lost his gloves, suffered severe frostbite to his hands. Lachenal's feet were also frozen. They were forced to spend a night in a crevasse with 2 other teammates who had come to help them. During the night, an avalanche swept over their shelter, burying them and sweeping away their boots. The climbers, now severely injured and barely able to move, faced a desperate struggle to get back down the mountain, helped by the heroic efforts of the rest of their team. The price of their victory was terrible. Both Herzog and Lachenal suffered such severe frostbite that they required emergency amputations of all their fingers and toes. Other members of the team also suffered serious injuries. Herzog's book, Annapurna, became a worldwide bestseller, inspiring a generation of climbers with its story of courage and sacrifice. However, it painted a heroic picture that glossed over some of the internal conflicts and the true horror of their ordeal. The first ascent was a landmark moment in human exploration, but it also served as a dark warning of the terrible cost of climbing the world's deadliest mountain. When people think of mighty mountains, Mount Everest is almost always the first name that comes to mind. As the world's highest peak at 8,848 meters, it presents an incredible challenge. However, in terms of sheer lethality, Annapurna is in a different league entirely. While far more people have died on Everest, this is simply because the number of climbers attempting it is vastly higher. The crucial number is the fatality rate. On Everest, the rate is around 1.4%, meaning for every 100 successful summits, less than 2 people die. On Annapurna, that number is over 30. This statistic alone highlights the unique and concentrated danger that Annapurna possesses. Another Himalayan giant, K2, is often called the Savage Mountain, and is widely regarded as a much tougher technical climb than Everest. It is the world's second highest peak and is steeper, more remote, and subject to more unpredictable weather. Its fatality rate is also alarmingly high, historically hovering around 25%, making it another of the world's most dangerous peaks. Yet, even the Savage Mountain does not quite match Annapurna's grim record. The primary difference lies in the objective avalanche danger. While K2 has its notorious sections like the bottleneck, Annapurna's avalanche threat is more widespread and constant across its most climbed routes. What truly sets Annapurna apart is the nature of its danger. On Everest, many of the risks, while significant, can be mitigated to some extent by commercial expedition logistics, experienced Sherpa support, and fixed ropes. The routes are well established. On K2, the challenge is more technical and sustained. But on Annapurna, the greatest threat comes from the mountain itself, in the form of avalanches that are almost completely unpredictable and unstoppable. This makes it a different kind of challenge, one where skill and experience can be rendered meaningless by a simple, terrifying act of nature. It's a game of chance more than on any other peak. Ultimately, each of the great 8,000-meter peaks presents its own unique set of challenges. Everest tests your endurance against extreme altitude. K2 tests your technical skill on steep, unforgiving terrain. Annapurna, however, tests your nerve and your luck against the raw, untamable power of the mountain. It is less of a technical puzzle to be solved and more of a wild beast to be survived. This is why, despite being lower in stature than its more famous cousins, Annapurna holds the undisputed and terrifying title of the world's deadliest mountain. It is a place where the odds are fundamentally and frighteningly not in your favor. So, with such a terrifying reputation and grim statistics, why do climbers still flock to Annapurna's slopes? Why would anyone willingly face such overwhelming odds? The answer is complex and lies deep within the human spirit. For some, it is the pursuit of history. Standing on the summit of the very first 8,000-meter peak ever climbed is a powerful draw. It's a way to connect with the pioneers of the sport, like Maurice Herzog, and to measure oneself against their legendary achievement. To succeed on a mountain with such a fearsome history is to claim a special place in the annals of mountaineering. For others, the danger itself is part of the appeal. In our modern world, where so much is controlled, predictable, and safe, there's a primal urge to seek out experiences that are raw and untamed. Annapurna offers this in its purest form. It is a place where you are forced to rely completely on your skills, your instincts, and your partner. It strips away everything but the essentials of survival. This intense life-or-death focus can be a powerful, transformative experience. It is the ultimate test of one's physical and mental fortitude, a way to discover what you're truly made of when everything is on the line. The mountain's formidable challenge is also a significant factor. Annapurna is not a crowded peak like Everest. There are no long queues waiting to get to the summit. Climbing it is a serious, committing undertaking that commands immense respect within the climbing community. To have Annapurna on your climbing resume is a mark of exceptional skill, bravery, and perhaps a little bit of luck. It represents the pinnacle of high-altitude mountaineering, a challenge sought by elite climbers who have already conquered other, less dangerous peaks and are looking for the ultimate test of their abilities. It is a true climber's mountain. In the end, the allure of Annapurna is the allure of the unknown and the unconquerable. It is a siren's call to those who are driven to explore the very limits of human potential. The mountain is a place of incredible, stark beauty, a cathedral of ice and rock that inspires awe. To be in its presence is a profound experience. The climbers who go there understand the risks, they know the statistics, but they are drawn by a powerful desire to stand, however briefly, in a place where few have stood, to face down their fears, and to feel truly, intensely alive, even in the shadow of death.